Hey guys, we're going to do a little bit of cleaning on the 6-7 block. I had some guys ask about cleaning oil galleries and that type of stuff and how we prep the blocks before we assemble them. So I'll go into that a little bit. I'm not going to do the whole process, but I'll explain the process. So it does take a little while, and it just doesn't make sense to spend that much time on the video when I can just explain to you, do one of something and not have to show all of it. So anyways, let's get after it here. So here is the 6-7 ppump block. I gapped all the rings yesterday. I always do the final clean after I gap the rings, just in case you ever get any crap or corruption in there. Don't put the crankshaft in, all that jazz. You can, don't get me wrong, if you're doing it, you just want to make sure that you have the block laying like this, when it's on your engine stand, or depending on if you're mounting on the side. But you want the cylinders flat like that if you're going to do it with the crankshaft in, so you're not dropping anything on the crankshaft. So, because you are filing metal, which is not really that great for an engine, so, you know, you always want to spend some time cleaning the thing. Best bet. Lots of times the machine shop will clean it. Now, when we do the blocks, the stuff that we use is a engine protector, and it is a synthetic material. So you have to clean it out. Because the rings do not seat properly, and then we don't do final cleaning on bores and all that stuff, so all that stuff needs to be done before assembly. So on a Cummins block, depending on the Cummins block, but we're going to do this one, and they all very similar. There is an oil gallery plug that goes right here, and then on a 6-7 block there'll always be two of them, but so that one lines up with the one at the front, but on the 6-7 block there is another one that's a blind hole in the back. So you want to make sure that you clean those holes out. So if there's plugs in there, unless the machine shop has cleaned them, then you don't have to take the plug out. But if you can tell that the plug's never been out, you want to clean that out, because that gallery is basically the oil galleries. That's how they drill all this stuff. So you want to make sure you get that clean, because they do collect junk in there. So you want to make sure you pull those out and get all that stuff clean, because even just the washing process and that stuff, you can't get them super clean without that. So anyways, for brushes, we have these steel brushes. You can, ouch, they're pointy. And then there's these ones here, which are like a plastic nylon style brush. I will put down in the link below as soon as I figure out how to do that. The ones that I bought a couple kits. We have 10 or 15 different sizes, but there is a kit that you can buy. I believe it's a Moroso kit. You can buy them from all. Like I said, I'll put a link down below for the ones that I'm talking about, and then you guys can buy them from wherever you want. So big thing for me, I use a lot of brake clean. I'm a big brake clean guy, so you can use cans, or you can use it like these are just pump bottles. I like to really, hose the brake clean and everything. Get everything as clean as possible. So it's like, I honestly probably, cleaning this block, I'll use 2 full ones of these of brake clean after I've already washed everything off. So what I do is I get it down, like I said, all the bolt holes. I'm not gonna do all of them just because, it'll make the video long, but like all of these oil gallery holes, I go down in there, get it soaked down in there. That just takes the big stuff off. So basically I'll use one of these full just on the initial just in your oil galleries. And like I said, all the bolt holes, all that stuff, you want to make sure all that stuff is cleaned out. Now this block already has the holes all chased on it that need to be chased, so those ones I won't be re-chasing, but you should chase all the holes. There again, make sure there's no dirt or any of that type of stuff down the holes. So now at this point, what I'm going to do is your oil gallery hole, obviously there's the blind one on the back that you need to do, but depending on if your brush is long enough, you just do that. You're going to pull it, you're going to go in and out a couple times, and then like this one goes right through, so you can just pull it right through if you want. Completely up to you. Do the same thing on the back side. There is holes up here that are oil galleries holes. You want to make sure you get those clean as well. Depending on what sizes of brushes you have. And then you're going to do the same thing like with this little brush. You're going to go into all these little holes here. Like I said, I'm not going to show you guys the whole process, but you understand what I'm saying. Make sure they're clean. And then you're going to do it again. Like I said, I use lots of brake clean when I'm doing this. Hose it in all the holes. And we've already went through this block, so it's like it's clean, but just to show you guys. Hose it down. Hose all the top holes down. There again, bolt holes, all that stuff. Anything you see is funky, I would get in there. Oh, it's blind. You know, get in there, your cam bore. There's no cam bearing in there yet, but cam bore, all that stuff. And then what I do after that, so that's literally when it goes. Actually, I should something else. So cleaning bores, you should be using, like, to wash these things off. If the machine shop, I recommend when you're doing it, use soapy water. Soapy water, then water. If you don't have access to that, you can use a bunch of brake clean, completely up to you. But you want to make sure this thing's spotless. Now, that being said, cleaning bores, I don't recommend to hit them with a brush, myself personally. If it's a plastic brush, it won't hurt them. I just don't do it that way. What I do is you brake clean them out. And these ones have already been brake cleaned, but you brake clean them out. And you take some engine oil, just conventional engine oil, doesn't matter the weight, because you're just using it for a cleaning and then a lint-free-ish rag. Cover it in oil. And then what I do is I pour, as long as your hands are clean, obviously, I pour some in my hand, wipe it in the cylinders. Ooh. It will get messy, just so you're aware. Then what I do is you look at the rag, and the rag is, well, other than probably a little bit of crap off my hands, but is relatively clean. And then you just take that rag and roll it around in there. And this will also protect the cylinders, but now you can see that already has been hit with brake clean a couple times, blown dry. It's been washed. You can see how much stuff comes out of the actual crosshatch. So you want to, you want to make sure, there again, you want to make sure this stuff is clean. Any dirt on initial startup that you can keep out of the system, you know, the better. A little bit of dirt, honestly, that's the reason that you change. Like if you talk to engine guys, they always recommend to change the oil after your break-in period, or after your initial start period, I should say. So your cam break-in. And the reason for that is, yeah, you can see how much crap comes out of that cylinder. It gets quite a bit, actually. So that's the reason for that, is so that the extra material, because you can't always get it all out, you will have some, nature of the beast, or you miss some, is so that that extra stuff is not floating around in the cylinders. So yeah, so I'll actually probably wipe them maybe down. They're actually pretty scuzzy. I'll probably wipe them down maybe 1 or 2 more times, basically until, you know, the rag comes back and it's clean, cleanish. You know, I'll keep wiping them down. And then before I put the pistons in, then I do the exact same thing again. Even after it's been cleaned and bagged, before you put the pistons in, I do the exact same process again. I'll oil it, wipe it down, and then we put wipe a little bit of oil in there for putting pistons in. Then we put oil on the pistons too, but I'll show that when we're putting that stuff in. Now, so I think we're going to call it quits on that one. And then the next video, I'm going to install, I don't have the new frost plugs for this thing yet, so I'll leave them alone for now. I actually was thinking about not putting frost plugs in it, because I don't think, it's not going to be like super crazy, but we'll probably put frost plugs in it, it'll look cooler. But what I'm going to do on the next video is we're going to install the frost plug, or the oil gallery plugs, and then the cam bearing. And then after that, something I didn't realize we were waiting for was I don't have the main studs. So that poses an issue. So we're waiting for those for this so that we can put the pistons in. I have already checked this block with the girdle on, but I'm not sure if I can use the girdle. But I have checked it with the studs, but I sold the studs because we needed them for another engine build for the shop. So now I have no studs. So I have already checked. The main bores are good, and I'll show. It likely won't be on this block, but I'll show it in the build just so you guys can see it for checking for main bore and that stuff. Checking main bore with studs and girdle and blah, blah, blah. And the girdle I'm using on this, I believe, I gotta play around because it might not actually get a girdle, but it will be the Beans girdle, so it's a one-piece aluminum. So anyways, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.